Hey guys, so these birds of mine are actually making 51 weeks on Saturday. 51 weeks, and I kid you not, the birds production is still in the 90s. 91%. Up to now, can you imagine? Now I'll tell you that I've visited a lot of farmers whose birds even never ever get to 85% production. Usually for our farmers, if the birds get to 85% production, it's a miracle. The birds are performing excellently well. But hey, it's actually possible to get to the high 90s, even for a prolonged time. It's now 51 weeks and we are still in the 90s. We expect them to be at around 91.8%, and trust me, they still do those percentages. How is that possible? Well, in today's video, I want to actually share with you guys the tips, the things that you need to do to ensure that your birds will lay a lot of eggs for a prolonged time. And it's quite loud inside here, so I want to do it in a more calm environment, that way you don't miss a point. So let's move out and I'll be sharing these tips with you. First and foremost, the breed of the birds that you have is key. Very important. If you get a bird that doesn't perform, it doesn't matter what else you're going to be doing, it's all a waste of time. For me, I'm using our own farm up chicks. The breed is actually Issa Brown, but we bred them ourselves at the bigger breeder farm. And these are my very own birds. So I trust them, I know them. I know that we did the right thing to get them to where they are. And certainly they do have the potential to give me the eggs I need. They have the potential to get up to 96% production. And they have shown that in the first 52, 55 weeks, they have to be in the 90s. And they are still in the 90s. They can prove that right now. So I know that the breed is actually a good one. And actually, without skipping that, if you do want to order, hey, why wasting time? I'll put our contact in the description below. Just give us a phone call and get some awesome layers from us. Number 2, brooding. Brooding is important. You see, we have target weights. When you're looking after chickens, there is target weights that you should not miss. By the time the birds get to the 5th week, we have a target weight. It will depend on the breed. If you miss that out, then the birds are never going to perform because there are particular developmental milestones. You know, just like a baby has developmental milestones. Same thing with these chicks. We have developmental milestones for them. So just like you've seen in my previous videos, we've been brooding birds. There are some things you need to pay attention to. You know, the weight of the birds. How do you get to the correct weight of the birds? By ensuring that, number 1, they have heat, enough heat during the brood. Not too much, not too little heat. You make sure that they have enough light when they are in the brooding period. That way they are consistently eating and they're not spending time, you know, in the dark, or they're not spending time trying to look for heat and gather up and get warm. No, they're actually being very comfortable and they're doing as much as they can to eat as much as they can. That way they can put on the weight to get to the target weight. Making sure that they have enough water present and making sure that they have enough food present. Those 4 factors are very, very key to ensuring that the birds will reach their target weight by week 5. Number 3, prevention of disease. If the birds get sick, then you're in trouble. And how do you prevent disease? 2 main ways. Number 1 is biosecurity and number 2, vaccination. What is biosecurity? Simply the things that you do on the farm to ensure that you don't introduce disease from the outside. So for example, me, when I'm going to enter the poultry house here, I must have had a shower. I shouldn't have visited other poultry farms. I need to make sure I'm in my overall with my gumboots. The farm is fenced so we don't have diseases coming in from the outside, from nearby areas. I don't accept visitors to come and visit the farm. The guys wash their hands. The guys dip their gumboots in food baths before they enter the poultry house. Simple, important measures like that. I believe I've made a lot of videos about biosecurity on the channel. I can't emphasize this enough. So those simple things about biosecurity prevent introduction of disease on the farm. If a disease is introduced on the farm, then you're going to spend a lot of time treating the birds. The birds are going to spend a lot of time not eating. If they're not eating, they're not gaining weight. So of course they're not going to reach their milestones. The parts of the body that are important in egg production are not going to get developed. So it's very, very important that the birds don't get sick. Again, you're going to be losing out on a lot of money. So make sure that the birds don't get sick. Also, you need to make sure that the birds are vaccinated on time, on schedule, with the correct vaccines. The vaccine needs to be from a trusted source. The vaccine needs to be transported and handled in the correct way. The correct vaccine needs to be given to the birds and at a timely manner to ensure that the birds don't get sick, they don't pick up diseases. If you do vaccination and biosecurity, I can almost be certain that you're not going to be suffering from disease on your farm, and that's one step closer to you actually getting the best production. Number 3, target weight by week 16. Or by point of lay. You see, if the birds have not reached the target weight by point of lay, for some birds it's about 1.4 kilos, some it's 1.6 kilos, 1.5 kilos. If they haven't reached the target weight, by point of lay, then you're not going to get what you need. The birds are going to go to peak for a short time. They might not even reach peak point of laying, simply because you haven't allowed them to have their system develop to the point where the system can actually lay enough eggs. And for you to get to these target weights, there are a few simple things. For example, if you have birds that are too small, isolate them, put them in a smaller unit, give them more feed, give them more light, get them to get to the target weight by the time they are 16 weeks. Things like ensuring that the feeders are empty when the birds start reaching 12 weeks, to ensure that, you know, their crop can widen so that they eat quick enough and their crop can widen and keep enough feed in order to lay eggs for the next day. Such things are very, very important. So if you don't pay attention to such small details, then hey, you're going to be making mistakes and you're going to fail. The birds won't be laying for a long time. And now when the birds do get to laying, there are a few things. Ensuring that water is present 24/7. If the birds don't drink enough water, it doesn't matter how much feed you give them, they won't lay eggs. The production is going to be very, very low. So you need to make sure that you have clean water consistently available to the birds. If you have workers who are present on the farm and sometimes they give the birds water, sometimes they don't, those birds are not going to produce. They're not going to produce according to the amount of production that you want. Also, you need to make sure that the feeds are present and they're good quality feeds. Don't gamble with the feeds. There are a lot of things we can gamble with to try to reduce the cost of raising our birds, but hey, don't gamble with the feeds. You need to maintain the feed quality. If you want the birds to live for a prolonged time, then make sure that they're not malnourished. Make sure that they get everything that they need. If they get everything that they need, they're going to give you what you need. What do you need? You need eggs. The eggs will give you money. So give them what they need. Don't compromise on the feed. The most important thing is to try to maximize the efficiency. Not to try to save a few pennies and keep them in your pocket. No. Maximize the efficiency. The other point is proper management practices and reduction of stress. There are a few things that people do that, you know, they are really illogical. They are stupid. And they can take you back for a long time. My birds here, for example, because the top of the house, we don't want it to get very heavy, and the birds have been there for quite some time. It's now a year. We don't want the droppings and the litter inside there to become too heavy. So we have to reduce it. We have to take away the old litter and introduce new litter. But the way we did it was very, very brilliant. If you just wake up one day, get 20 guys, tell them, hey, let's go and change the litter inside, they're going to disorganize the birds. The birds are going to be stressed. They're going to be moving them around. The birds are running from here to there, here to there. It's going to cause them stress. So what did we do in order to reduce on the stress on the birds? The very same exact guys who work inside there were doing it, but slowly by slowly. So slowly by slowly, once they get done with their work for the day, the person gets a sack, goes inside, collects some litter, puts it in a sack, takes it out. Maybe collects 4-5 sacks a day. Then tomorrow, same story. The other day, same story. Slowly by slowly. The birds won't even notice it's happening. And that reduces on the stress on the birds. You know, it reduces on the stress. The birds won't be stressed. Because if you do such an activity, changing litter during the point when the birds are actually laying, then you change the litter all in one day, the birds are going to get stressed, and trust me, they're never going to recover. Yeah, they have been at 92% production, they're going to drop to 75, and if they get back up, they're going to get back to maybe 80 or 84 or even 88. That's 4% less than what you require, and that means a big percentage. That's a lot of money lost. So you need to reduce the stress activities, things like debeaking. Never debeak birds during production. I know sometimes the beaks of the birds grow back, just like mine. You guys can see that sometimes the beaks grow back, but hey, that's something I have to accept right now. I can't debeak them, because you debeak the birds right now, they're going to get stressed and they can never ever get back to laying the way you want them to lay. So yes, getting your birds to actually lay is not hard. You just have to follow a few principles. And I know a lot of people don't follow these principles and they mess up and they fail. Yeah. So I've shared the principles with you. Of course, there's a lot more detail and a lot more detail. I've shared a lot of this on this channel. So just go check out all my other videos. You'll get a lot of information on how to brood, how to raise the birds up, and that will ensure that you have as much production as possible. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash the notification bell. That way you never miss out on an upload. Lots of love. Bye-bye.